hello, everybody, hello. Uh, anyway, I'm going to get into a few subjects. Um, 2 weeks ago, I did a video on the Second Amendment. So, but I didn't really get to cover all the things that I wanted to cover in that video. And then, of course, the night last week we had our president, attempt assassination on him. So I kind of did a different video. So this week I want to get back into the Second Amendment, but I got some other stories that I got to get into also that I want to kind of cover along with this. What's up, Mike? How you doing, bro? So I got a couple of things I want to cover while I'm in. So I'm going to be tying some stories, and I'm going together with the Second Amendment. So just hang tight with me, and just follow along, because it's going to seem like I'm all over the place, but there's a reason for that. There's been a few stories that have happened in the city of Philadelphia. One story is kind of disturbing because it was a lady and a man walking with a baby coach, and they were on their way to wherever. I don't want to get into what my theory about what happened, but they basically another lady came up and basically started firing at him, shooting at him, which is crazy in itself. But there was a 7-month baby, 7-month-year-old baby sitting in, the baby coach. They got shot in the leg. They got hit in the leg. So they had, there's other stuff along with the story, but that in itself is crazy. And then just this morning, I hear another story where, again, in the city of Philadelphia, it was a shooting, I think, where 3 people got killed or hurt or injured or whatever. I didn't get that far. I didn't get a chance to finish all the story, but my point to you about bringing these stories up is that criminals don't care about these laws. They just don't care about these laws. So the reason why I'm getting into the Second Amendment and I'm bringing these stories in, because they all go and coincide with each other. It's crazy. So when people say, "Oh, I don't need a gun for this, I don't need a gun for that," guns are dangerous, guns are this and that. Criminals have guns, and they have every intent to use those guns. They don't care. They just have guns, and they don't care what they do. They don't care if they hurt somebody. They willing to take your life. They willing to take your stuff. They willing to come into your home. I was reading a story in California again, when criminals went and broke into this guy's home. Thank God he had a firearm, and him having a firearm. Hey, what's up, Chris? For real, him having a firearm. Actually, he ended up shooting one of the guys that was breaking into his home. The other one got away. So it's so many things are happening where criminals have firearms and they know how to get them and they know where to get them from. When you keep hearing these politicians talking about, oh, we need to, gun violence. There is no such thing as gun violence. I don't care what nobody say. There's no such thing as gun violence. Violence is violence. Guns are just one of the things that people use as a weapon to someone else in violent ways. Just like a knife is, just like a hammer is, just like a car is. Anything that a person take and use for bad intentions, it doesn't really matter. They just, for some reason, they want to always say gun violence, but they don't say knife violence. They don't say, they don't add violence with all the other stuff. They only add it with the gun. But, it is what it is. So I say to people, listen, let's say, God forbid, somebody comes into your home and they got bad intentions. They already got a firearm. Or let's say they have a knife. Or just say it's a group of them with knives. They're not going to wait for you to call the police before they decide to do whatever it is they intend to do. They're not going to wait. They're just going to come in. They're going to do what they got to do. and they're not going to care. They're not going to say, oh, you know what, we intend to rob you, but you go ahead and make that 911 call before we do what we're going to do. They don't care. They're going to do what they're going to do. That's the reason why you got to, self-protection is important. Having a firearm to being able to defend yourself in your home or wherever you are is essential. When you hear these politicians talking about you don't need this and you don't need that, what they're essentially telling you is that they have them. They got security. They got bodyguards, these Hollywood people, these politicians, they all got guns around them protecting them. But they're telling you that your life don't mean that much. That's why you shouldn't have the gun to protect yourself. They're telling you that their life is more valuable than your life. So don't listen to them. Your life is just as important to their life. They got protection. You need to protect yourself. So rather it's a firearm or a gun, firearm, gun, knife, whatever. You need to have the mindset of, I need to have the best weapons possible to protect myself, my family, and my loved ones. Politicians, they don't care about your safety. They care about politics. The other thing is this. Let's say you did have time to call 911. And you had time, and the police is on their way to the situation. Average response time in most places is 3 to 6 minutes. You're already dead. You're already done. Whatever they're going to do, they done did it, and they're gone already. That's the other reason why you need to have a weapon, the best weapons possible. What I say is a gun, to be able to defend yourself if someone comes into your home and someone tried to do you harm. You need to have the best weapons possible to take care of that, because the police is not going to get it. Hey, what's up, Marika? Morgan, I know, sorry, I said it a little messed up, but welcome. And you guys take your chance, hit the like button if you haven't already. Subscribe, please do me a favor and share my channel with anybody and everybody I know, especially if you guys know Trump supporters out there. But we still gotta get the train rolling. But back to what I was saying, when they come into your house, they're not concerned about, the police, even if they wanted to get to you fast as possible, they're not going to be able to get there in time before somebody who had bad intentions do what it is they intend to do. You need to have something there. You need to have the best weapons possible to defend yourself in it. Now, the only thing, when the police show up, they can sort out what happened, but you need, okay, locked and loaded, that's what's up. They can come in and sort out what happened, but self-preservation is your job. It's your job as an individual. Now, the reason why I wanted to tie something in, because here's the thing, and I want y'all to think about this. We all know what happened with Trump. We all know that there was an attempt to assassinate his life. Look at all that the people around him, all of the security that he had, and all the protection he was supposed to have around him, which to me they failed at, but that's another subject in itself. But a person was still able to get up on the roof and attempt to take his life with all of that security. So you got to think, you need to be on point when it comes to your surroundings, what's going on around you. Don't rely solely on other people for your protection, because they can't protect you. They can to some extent, but we had the president of the United States, someone attempt to take his life when he had all the security and everything around, the police officers, Secret Service, whoever these people are, and they still got a chance to get on a roof with a gun and fire shots to possibly take his life, which in itself was horrible. We glad that it didn't go the way that they intended it to go, but that goes to show you that you never know what people's intentions are, and you having a firearm and being efficient with it is it's essential that you do so. And that's one of the examples of why you can't just solely rely on the police and politicians and all this other stuff to protect your life, because even if they really, really wanted to, if the police really wanted to, believe me, I believe most police officers want to be able to protect life. What's up, Sean? What's going on, brother? I believe most police want to protect life, and they would love to be able to get there fast enough to stop the situation before it happens. But unfortunately, that's not always possible. And in most cases, it's not possible. They're usually showing up after everything happened. It's because you still got to make the call to get them to respond to get there. So that's the unfortunate part. But if you have a chance to put a stop to the situation yourself, that is by far better. I mean, yeah, I believe you should be efficient with it, but I think, that's left up to the individual. And that goes to show you how easy it is for someone to try to do some harm to you. Yeah, we had our president of the United States, I'm saying my president because that's how I feel, have all of this security around him, and still someone got a chance to get to him. So your life should matter that much to you that you protect yourself in that same way. That you have a firearm, you should have it with you as often as possible. I mean, I know some states have issues and some cities have issues. They make it tough for people. And I believe that the citizens of the United States should go to all these places that have tough gun laws, and we need to protest and try to get that reversed out of those places, because places that have less gun law, where people have more firearms, they have less crime. They have less crime. The places that has the toughest gun laws have more crime. Why? Because most criminals know there's little people that have guns, they're going to take advantage of the situation. And that's it. And that's why I said I wanted to get into this second part of this, because those are the details that I kind of left out the first time, because I was just trying to lay some groundwork to why the Second Amendment is so essential. And that's it. And I mean, we have a country that's have issues. We got issues across this country. And then you see all of these illegals coming over here, and we don't know what their intentions are. I'm gonna tell you, I agree 100% with Trump. I believe 100% that they are emptying out their prisons, because that's what makes sense. I'm not saying that every single one is from there, but here's the thing. I think like he thinks. If I have an opportunity to dump my trash on someone else, that's what I'm going to do. Most of us have trash. When we got stuff in the house, we put out our trash, right? We don't put out our good stuff. We put out our trash. So if I'm going to put out if I see a place, United States is going to they just letting everybody over. Okay, go get them people out of prison. Now we don't have to house them. Now we don't have to feed them. Now we don't have to do everything to take care of them. We dump them on the United States and let the United States deal with them. So I'm 100% feel like they should be shipping them back. But here's the thing. They're here. And we don't know what their intentions are. So we got our problems, and now we got invited problems. That's why you really need to have firearms, be efficient, be aware of what's going on around you, pay attention to what's going on around you. If it's a group of y'all should all be paying attention. If it's one or two of y'all, be paying attention to what's going on around you, because every time you turn around, there's some incidents of people getting shot at, being robbed and stuff, and it's escalating even more and more now that we got all these illegals coming over here. The media, I'm telling y'all, is not going to tell you all this. They're not. They're not going to tell you all this going on. They're not going to tell you all the crime that's going on. They're not going to tell you that. And unfortunately, we have a lot of politicians that like to gaslight. They don't want to tell you the truth. They don't want to tell you really what's going on. They're not telling you the truth. Here's the thing. If you believe these politicians are telling you the truth, for the last almost 4 years, we've seen how bad Joe Biden was, and they still in our face telling us he's okay. He's doing fine. He's strong. He's this, he's that. Like, we don't see that he's not all there by far. He shouldn't even be sitting in office right now. He just shouldn't be. We know it. But if they're willing to lie to you on that level, even though you see, how much more are they not telling us? How much more they're not telling us? They're not telling us because they don't care about your life. All they care about is their control, their power, because they're power thirsty. They're very power thirsty. So I'm telling you, you really need to dig deep. If you're not efficient, get efficient. If you don't have a firearm, get a firearm. Get good at it. Learn how to use it. Be efficient with it. And don't let these politicians say that they're going to do this to protect you. They don't want to do that to protect you. You can't tell me you're trying to protect me when you letting all of these illegals come over here and you're not scrutinizing. You're not checking them to make sure that they're not what their intentions are. They shouldn't be. I mean, first of all, they broke the law once they came over here because they did it illegal. But y'all just catching them and releasing them. And then guess what? You don't know what their intentions are. We already done seen what their intentions are because they're committing crime everywhere. But why isn't why don't you see the president of the United States or his press secretary getting up there saying, you know, what's really, really going on? What we really see. So I'm telling you, I'm looking at, in my mind, if I was running these other countries, I would do exactly what Trump was saying they would do. I would dump my trash on America. I would. Because I'm like, okay, now we don't have to pay for their housing. We don't have to pay for nothing. Now the cost of them being here is now we're absorbing that cost as taxpayers. How is that fair to us? And then these same politicians bringing all these criminals over here still want to tell you, oh, you shouldn't have a firearm. You shouldn't have 30 rounds in your gun. You shouldn't have this. You shouldn't have that. You full of crap. I should have that and more. So you want to bring all the criminals and all of these people that you don't know what their mentality is over here, and then you want me to be subject to their behavior without no way to protect myself. Make that make sense. Make it make sense. That don't even sound right. You saying that you want me, you right, Chris, for real, it does suck. You want me to be subject to all of that y'all got going on over there. And hey, let's dig a little deeper with that. You got all this stuff going over Ukraine. You're protecting Ukraine's border. You sending money over there trying to protect their border, protect their country. You doing everything to protect their country. But you ain't doing nothing to protect ours. Why is that country so more important to you in your own country, where you, your children, your family, everything that's about you is in this country? You can't say you love this country if you do that. You worried about what's going on in Ukraine, but you're not worrying about what's happening over here, right here in your back door. You're not even making sense. I know you don't care about this country. Now, I don't know if anybody know it. Most people probably already do. According to the news and a couple of sources, Joe Biden apparently dropped out of the race. Personally, I wanted him to stay in. Y'all been lying for him all this time. Should have left him there. Why y'all trying to get him? Why y'all want him out of it now? Y'all kept saying he was okay. This is just my opinion. I'm not saying you have to agree with me. This is my opinion. Y'all kept saying he was okay. Y'all been lying for him all this time. Y'all saying he's doing a good job. Y'all saying all of this. He gets up there, debate with Trump, and make a of himself. And now, y'all want to say, oh, okay, we want him to step down. Why? For what? It's too late now. And I mean, not that it matters, because we don't want none of y'all. We really don't. I don't want no Democrat in office. Kamala Harris is Joe Biden in a dress. That's it. Well, I ain't never really seen her wear dresses, but in a suit, whatever. She's there's no difference there. Kamala Harris is just as bad as Joe Biden. There is no intellect in them brains whatsoever. None. So I don't even, y'all want to put her up there against Trump, go ahead and do it. But I wouldn't dare vote for her. I know what she is too. So I don't even know why anybody, you can put them up there and I know that she's going to get some votes or whatever the case may be. But, you know, the one thing I can say about Trump is that, you know, he's a constitutional president. He understands the Constitution. He understands the power should be, majority of the power is supposed to be in the people's hands. So that's why we need to vote for him. That's why we need to continue to push this train to get him in office so that we have somebody in office that is about the people. So, and he's a constitutional person who believes in the Second Amendment, who believes you have the right to keep and bear arms. That means he understands, he wants you to have the right to protect yourself because he knows that, that even if the police wants to, they can't get there fast enough. And that's just the reality of it. It's nothing wrong with the police. It's just that's the reality of it. So, you know, when you got somebody like him, and I tell people all the time, and, you know, when I'm out in the streets, here's the thing, and that's why I said I'm going to be a little bit all over the place, but y'all have to forgive me for that. When I'm out in the streets and I'm talking to people about, you know, politics and stuff like that, it's funny that how when after Trump almost got assassinated, usually, you know, I talk to different people and stuff like that. All of the people that I started talking to about Trump this and Trump that, when he got assassinated, when I kind of came outside, pulled up, whatever case me, they started flocking me. Now they wanted details. They was like, yo, we there. We want Trump back in office. Yo, what's going on? What you think about it? I got bombarded with probably about good 10 to 15 people around me because they wanted to know. And listen, yes, they all African American. They all said they voting for Trump now. They want Trump back in office. And they were just like, they was really pissed off. They was like, yo, what's going on? Like, you know, they heard some of this stuff like, oh, Trump, it was so-called staged. I said, bro, you can't. I said, you had to be a psychopath to even try to stage something like that. You can't stage that. I'm not going to stage nothing where a real bullet is going to whiz past my head and I'm going to hope to turn my head in just enough time that it miss me. Yeah, nah, you don't stage nothing like that. Now, was it a setup? We don't know, but I'm going to be honest with you, everything in my gut still says he was set up. And I'm going to stick with that. You know, until somebody proves something different to me, I'm sticking to that. But I felt good, man. It was just like, it felt real good to see that many people from the neighborhood that I grew up in talking about, oh, we want Trump back in office. Now, there was some that was on the fence, that some was for Trump, but they wasn't for Biden. But they were just probably like, oh, I'm not going to vote. But if I don't like to put people on camera that don't want to be on camera, just surprise people like that. But if I can get a chance to get them there, I'm going to get video and ask them, yo, if y'all willing to get on the video one day. I just don't like to do that because people are uncomfortable with stuff like that. But I'm telling y'all, I got bombarded. As soon as I got out my vehicle, they was like, yo, what's up with that? What's up with that? And they all got out the steps and came around. Was like, I got like 15 people, maybe more, want to know what's going on. And man, no, we voting for Trump, man. We 100% Trump. We 100% Trump. We see it, man. We even after he was talking to us, you know, we was there. He said, but man, we 100 Trump now. They ain't thinking about nobody else. And so, you know, it felt good. It really did. It was encouraging to me because most of the time I'm getting smoked from people. But that was encouraging to me. That was encouraging to say, you know what? They are listening. Maybe not all of them, but a lot of people are listening. A lot of people are listening. And they see it. They starting to see what I see, what a lot of people see across the board. And you know, here's the thing. Back to the story about this one story. It's funny because Sean sent me he sent me the story. He had texted me the story about this. You know, baby was a 70-month baby getting hit by bullet because she was trying to. She basically, I don't know what it looked like a domestic situation because I kind of listened to it, looked at domestic, but you know they had to rush. The baby survived. The baby didn't die or whatever. But in my mind, it's like, okay, it's two adults where they're walking with a baby, and someone comes up with a gun and they just start shooting at you. Now I don't know what they was doing it. But if the two parents would have been packing, had some type of firearm, they could have put a stop to that then. And then let the police sort it out. But unfortunately, the one parent took off running with the male, which coward like a coward, he just ran off. You're right, Sean. Sean saying you need to just make sure they get out and vote. And I'm hoping that they do. But the one parent took off and ran and left the female there to kind of just deal with the situation. And then eventually, I guess, it calmed down or whatever. But this is the reason why you really need to have a firearm, because they could have put a stop to that before that baby even got hit by something. If that person come up and start shooting, you pull yours out and put a stop to it. The police ain't going to get there fast enough. They might want to, but they're just not. It's not going to happen that way. So that's why we really need to embrace this Second Amendment, embrace your right to keep and bear arms, and all the Constitution. I'm not just talking about the Second Amendment. That's what we're talking about right now, because that's important, because that actually helps to keep the other ones there. Because the minute you take away that, everything else goes. Freedom of speech and everything else. That's why it's essential and it's so important. But, his thing is that, we don't know what they're going to put up against Trump. I mean, I look through the Democratic Party and I'll be like, I can't see not one of them. I mean, at this point, who y'all going to pull out? What are y'all going to pull out to go up against Trump right now? You have no idea how much of a support system Trump has. Like, I'm going to be honest with you, and I'm just guesstimating because I really don't know. I wouldn't be surprised And Trump ended up with 90 million votes or more. I'm be honest with you, because it's everywhere. When I go out, it's everywhere. You got the silent people that's voting for him, but they don't promote it. And then you got the people that's promoting. You can't tell me anywhere across the board where you see Joe Biden getting this type of support. Ever. These people, everybody that's supporting Trump, they driving trucks supporting Trump. They on boats supporting Trump. They on foot supporting Trump. They on bridges supporting Trump. They putting signs on hotels supporting Trump. You cannot find any level of support for Joe Biden anywhere. I was in Ohio not too long ago. I was riding through the streets of Ohio. I did not find one Joe Biden and Harris flag, sign, anything. It was two things I seen the most of. American flags, which I seen a ton of those. And Trump 2024 flags, I've seen probably about a good, maybe one Trump sign to every 10 American flags. But when I say 10 American flags, I couldn't go 50 feet without seeing American flags. So that's kind of give you the gist of what was going on. It was American flags everywhere. I was saying, man, I wish Philadelphia was like this. That's how I was impressed. I was like, man, they got American flags everywhere. I was impressed. I said, I wish Philadelphia was like this. I wish, some of the other places like that. We need to represent our country on that level. Ohio was doing it big. I mean, when I say big, I wasn't all over Ohio, but I drove a good going up and coming back 3 hours easily in Ohio in different parts. I came back a different way that I went up. And I just seen American flags everywhere. And then a lot of Trump 2024 signs on, they had the flags or they had it on their cars. They was really like, it was a strong presence in Ohio for Trump. Like it really was. I didn't even go up there for that. Yes. And here's the thing, it's one thing to get out, and Sean made a point. It's one thing to get out and just talk about voting for Trump, but you really have to go and actually vote. Like if it's one thing for us to sit here and we try to do all these videos, and I go out out on the ground, and I talk to people about it and stuff like that. But the reality of it is this: we have to make this election too big to rig, because if we don't go and make sure our vote count there, everything we talk about is not going to matter. It's just not going to matter. We have to get to the point that when it comes November the 5th, we got to get out there and we got to vote. We got to keep, right now we're coming down to the stretch. We also got to get out there and get on the ground and talk to people about really what's going on. Because if we don't do this as a collective team, we cannot take the chances of the Democratic Party cheating like they did before. Because they will cheat and they don't care about it. They will do it. So we got to take the ability for them to be able to cheat and steal this election away from them by making it so big that they can't rig it. That's it. And we got to continue to spread the word. We know Trump isn't perfect, but I'm going to tell you something, man. Like, he has a good heart. Like, this is just, again, my opinion. But I believe he has a good heart. He reminds me a lot about myself. He does a lot of stuff for a lot of people, but he doesn't shout it across the rooftop. Most of what I found out about Trump, I had to kind of dig into it, dig it up, and find out he was doing a lot more for people than I thought that he was doing. And I was like, wow, he's a real good dude. He's just a regular, decent, mindful person. No, he's not perfect, but he's just a regular, decent dude. He has a very giving heart. And then I'm listening to all the people that talks about him, and they all say the same thing. So it's funny because I had somebody was like, asked me one time I was on the video or whatever, and one guy gets in the comments was like, he made some comment about, about Trump, and some negative comments about Trump. I don't really want to get into the whole thing because I don't remember exactly what he said, but I just know it was a negative comment about Trump. And he was like, why would you go vote for somebody? I said, because he reminds me of myself. And I said, but I'm not running for president. He is. So if I want somebody that's like-minded like me, I'm going to vote for the person that's more closer to me, like-minded like me. And I'm not perfect by anything, but, I do a lot of stuff sometimes for people, but I don't like really to talk about it. I just don't. That's just the way I am. And I noticed that he does a lot of stuff for a lot of people. And you know, and some things you just can't fake. Some things you can fake, and some things you just can't fake. And believe me when I tell you, I don't see a fake person when it comes to Trump. He shoot from the hip. He don't try to sound political, which is great. He don't try to say the words perfectly all the time, which to me is great. That tells me that you're honest. Nobody's 100% honest about everything, but my point is, for the most part, you're honest. And then the way he represents this country, and the way he talks about this country, and the pride that he has for this country, tells me that why would you want anyone else as president besides somebody like that? Because it's not about one segment of people, which is the Democrats keep trying to spin. He's talking about America. He's talking about everybody in America. No, he's not going to be able to make everybody happy because he still won't have haters, so they're not going to be happy. But for the most part, he's talking about everybody in America. He wants to make America great again. He didn't point out a segment of people like Roland Martin and Al Sharpton be always trying to make into stuff, the racist stuff. He's not doing that. He said, I want to make America great. And what we have to understand is if you was born on this soil, you are American. That's it. You are American. So he's trying to make the country great, which benefits all Americans. You get what I'm saying? It benefits the American. And that's it in a nutshell. And you know, I'm not going to keep y'all long. I just wanted to go over some points about the Second Amendment, that some things I felt like I left out the last time I was did this live, just on the basis of, you know, being able to self-preservation and stuff like that. I don't know what my subject is going to possibly be next week, but I guarantee it's going to be political because there's a lot of stuff politically I want to get into, but I just haven't had the time to really dig into it like that. And so tune in for next week. It's definitely going to be political. It's definitely going to be, you know, hopefully by then we'll find out who the Democrats going to pull out of their behind, and we see where this go. You know, I thank you guys for supporting this channel. I thank you guys for being there. You know, I hope, you know, you guys are getting something out of it. I want to grow this channel to the point where it's reaching and expanding. And I appreciate everyone that was there. Y'all have a good, wonderful day. And thank you for tuning in to Ryan's Opinion Don't Matter. Have a blessed one. Goodbye.